We're being offered now the kind of carrot, take the vaccine, you get the end of the lockdown, life will go back to normal. If it happens like that, then a lot of people are going to be really happy. You're going to see it's an open up to the tree of life, if you like, an open up to normal life. If it doesn't happen, if it's not successful and the virus continues to spread, and especially if we have lockdown after lockdown, then people are going to get really sick, not just physically, but also mentally. And it's going to lead to total despair, I think, and a kind of crisis which could lead to a kind of meltdown of society. A health crisis, a social crisis, financial crisis, and a mental health crisis as well, because we're already seeing that many people are cracking up under the strain of isolation, no work, no social life, stuck at home, perhaps with difficult family members, young people particularly in a crisis. There's an increase in alcoholism, depression. Increased number of people are now on antidepressant drugs, which may relieve some of the symptoms but not solve the problem. Also, there's crime and domestic violence is increasing. The reports in the papers of increase of knife crime among the youth in London. Also, I've read that criminal trials are being put off for a long time because of the COVID crisis, and some people are actually dropping their accusations against people who've committed crimes because it's just too far down the line, it's too much hassle, which if you think about it, is going to mean that the criminals are going to think, well, I'm going to get away with it, so let's have an increase in criminal activity. And you can see that that will be one of the outcomes of all of this. Also, if resources become scarce and the food supply problem and money loses its value as a result of inflation, you can see a whole way in which society will then start to crumble. And you get social unrest and social breakdown. That would be a very bad case scenario, but it's a possible one. And I think if they're going to prolong lockdown after lockdown, if the thing doesn't work, as Boris hopes it's going to, and this is already happening in Europe, then you're going to see a scenario which could lead to very much a breakdown of society. And we can see, as we read in the passage in Jeremiah, disaster goes forth from nation to nation, and a great tempest stirs from the ends of the earth. And the four horsemen of the apocalypse do ride out. The Antichrist rises to power. You have war and conflict, famine and plague, and only the second coming can then save us from that. That's one scenario which I could see coming out of what's happening now. The other one is that actually that it does give some temporary fix. Now, if you think about this, this could also have a long-term effect which could lead to the same outcome which I've been talking about. If it's successful or even moderately successful, then you can find yourself going back to some kind of normalcy, even if only for a short-term fix. Most people will then be very pleased with those who brought this about and probably very angry with those who opposed it. After hope deferred, their desire will be met. They will get what they want. They'll get back to the tree of life or the life which they expected. And they may well be saying peace and safety, as then globalist leaders bring in their Build Back Better program and attempt to reshape society in their image. Bible speaks a lot about peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. And one of the kind of things which I see from the scriptures is that at the time when the rapture happens, it's likely that society will be functioning as normal. And it's possible that at that time that you see the emerging global government behind the scenes taking more and more control over national governments. And we see already that the globalists have used this situation to learn lessons and prepare for the next wave, which means they're preparing for something to come. If you go to Luke 17, when Jesus speaks about the second coming, he says it's going to be as the days of Noah and Lot. He also says at this time one should be taken and one should be left, which I take to be a picture of the rapture of the church. And he says that at this time, the kind of society he sees taking place then, he said they ate, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage. They ate, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they built, comparing to the days of Lot and the days of Noah. Now those are things which happen in normal society. So he's saying that life will be going on as normal, then suddenly one should be taken, one should be left. So this alternative scenario which I've given could be that actually the present vaccine and things do work and we get back to some kind of normal society, people are very happy and they think everything's fine, got peace and safety, then suddenly Jesus shows up and takes those who are his to be with him. So watch this space. If that happens, then the powers of government will be given credit for giving people back their lives, the desire and the life that they want.